Oh, did you get another booked session on your? Oh no, you didn't. Hey man, come on, use Coach Bin. What are you doing? Henry said that he was going to use it. He's like, all right, I'm done with depression. Time to start coaching again. And yeah. To be fair though, like in high MMR, it's like if you aren't like friends with people who do the 5-man party queue, you're kind of screwed. And it's like select groups of people that do it. So like if it's really like political now. Like if you don't get invited to like a particular stack, you just don't gain MMR. Like I'm 100% sure that I'm gonna get top 100. It's not even like a question, you know, because I just my team is like better than me, and they can carry me to top 100. You know what I mean? It's like yeah. Oh, I'm loving it. The games that I've had have been significantly better. Like I like matchmaking when you can get games. The only problem is like the other day we played against Bryle Tomato and somebody else on a Smurf. It's like 3 top 10 players on a Smurf. Are you serious? It's a huge josh. It's joshing to the point where they're like joshing themselves. You know, they're joshing themselves around the block, joshing right up the fence. They're Joshuaing so hard. It's not even funny. Kind of off. What? I'm a pretty big water fan. I usually get a lot of water in the form of tea. So just because tea is one of my favorite things, and it's mostly tea is mostly water. I gotta say I'm definitely behind the whole water movement that's going on right now.
Are
I
you
think it's pretty.
you're a caffeinated tea drinker, right? Like English breakfast
I
is your
sometimes
thing.
drink decaf. I sometimes drink caffeinated. Depends what I'm feeling. What I'm you know if I'm picking up what the tea is putting down, then maybe I'll take it. I'll drink it and just have a good time there with it. But
Have you
just
ever
whatever tastes good, you know.
have you ever had matcha? Do you like matcha tea?
I don't think so. I think you have tried to sell me on this before, and I mean, I'm sure you sold me because I do. I just like all tea, generally speaking. But is it like a fruity sort of tea?
No, it's just like some special like premium preparation of green tea like that originated in Japan, and they grind it up really fine, and you have to like it's like a powder that you then like whisk with like this special bamboo whisk or something like that. I don't know a
Huh.
lot about it, but it's supposed to be um, just like this premium green tea that's like
So you
good
mix
for you.
this into hot water then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't. So with that all the leaves and
So you actually
everything.
like drink the leaves, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That would give it a little bit more texture. I like that. I like the sound of that. That sounds all right.
It's definitely a little grassy tasting when you drink it. Like I've gotten like matcha lattes, and you know how the lattes have like the foam on top.
Yeah.
The foam is like a little gross. Like if you're not used to that taste, if you don't like that taste, it can be a little gross
Yeah.
just because it's just like foam of like tea powder. But the actual tea is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. See, this is kind of unrelated, but I think it was chai tea
Oh, I love
from
chai.
some.
Love chai.
It wasn't Starbucks, but it was some like equivalent random off-brand, expensive ass Starbucks esque place, and I had chai tea, and I couldn't believe that tea tasted like that. It was like hot chocolate, but even better, which is pretty interesting because hot chocolate is extremely delicious, but just sugar. And chai tea is also kind of just sugar, so
Yeah, I mean, depends where. Like, if you get Americanized or like Westernized chai, it's definitely just like
it was good though.
really
It,
sweetened. But like
it's different.
OG real chai is like super good,
Yeah,
really spicy.
I have like homemade, yeah, spicy chai tea, um, as well. I definitely drink that. Big fan of that.
I'm here and queer and ready to spear. Are you a Mars player by any chance, friend? Sounds like a
And what do you?
Mars
Oh, there's
Mars
Alt
player.
I had a janitor in elementary school. His name was Mr. Roach, which I always found pretty funny because he's cleaning up these like messes, and his name is Roach, and that's like kind of what cockroaches do.
He's probably cleaning up roaches, to be honest, or
Maybe.
trying to prevent them by cleaning up messes.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's betraying his people.
Yeah.
He's cleaning it up so they can't. They don't have anything to eat. He's starving his people. God damn. That's a guy. I think that's against some like rules of war. What was the Geneva Convention? It's against the Geneva Convention.
The Roach.
Starvation.
The Roach Geneva Conventions.
Yeah. All right. 30 people. This is enough. Let's go. Let's get started.
Well, let's do it.
You really want to start with 30 people? 30 boys? 30
I
boys?
want to get this done so I can watch TI, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Good call. Good call.
That was kind of the thing. We had a discussion. Should we do this even? Because TI is going on. It's going to be going on during TI.
Yeah.
People wanted to. Some people didn't. We figured we would do it at least for a little bit. Maybe we'll do it kind of an abbreviated one today. Just because, let's be honest, you guys probably want to watch TI anyway.
See, I don't think there's much value in a lot of Dota content around it. Maybe that's the wrong way of putting it. A lot of Dota content doesn't get very many views around the TI season, which makes a lot of sense because it's TI. if you have to choose between some Dota content and TI, you're probably gonna choose TI. So.
Yeah, you also just get like hella burned out by watching so much Dota. Like I've been watching almost all the games. I usually make it until like basically the last series of every night, and then I have to go to sleep at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But by then, if I was still awake, there's no way that I'd watch any Dota videos after that.
I also recall, I think last year when I think we started around like a month or two before TI, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember last year our views took a huge hit around TI and then picked up afterwards because
everybody's inspired.
everybody wants to watch Dota content after TI, and then before TI, there's like a void too, where it's just all the pro players are practicing.
Yeah.
Hello, cat. Hello.
What up? I got
Did you hear me?
All right. How we going?
I'm getting ignored.
I love you.
We all know who
Love you
the
too.
partner is now. Feels bad, man.
I'm back.
Hey, buddy. How's it go?
Skid.
All right. You want to take a look?
Yeah.
So I said, hey, boys and girls, thought we'd do a TI replay review. We can submit replays from TI, and we can attempt to explain certain decisions. So let me see. So Ludicrous. Hey, guys, if you remember the last reviews, my Sven didn't load. I wasn't on to get another one. I think you offered to do 2 for me this week.
What?
Hope that would still be possible. Not this week. This month. Just saying. That's,
what?
that's a lot of replay reviews. Holy shit. So these are not TI replays. I mean, if you want, you could download these just so if he wants next week, we can look at that. But we'll skip that for now. And Eddie Mercury linked pro replay. Newbee versus Secret Game 1. Well, here I'll.
Who was the person for the Spectre PL? Thriller.
That was let me see.
Just so I can name the replay.
Ludicrous 571. Oh, you can name replays?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Was that in the new patch?
No, it's been the case forever.
Oh my god! I wish I had known that. Jesus.
Here, I'll show you. You just go to downloads. Oh my god, my game's frozen. Wait, okay. Go to downloads. I need to clear this out because it actually takes like 30 seconds for this to load because I have so many fucking replays.
Yeah, I gotta clear mine out too.
I believe this is the one. Spectre replay, yes. And then you just click over here.
Oh, shit, it's hidden unless you click it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Why is this lagging so hard?
It's happening for me as well.
Hello? There we go. Okay, let me get this other one real quick.
Explain the decision to pick Io carry. I still need to watch that game.
Dude, it's so good.
Was it?
It's so good. I mean, here
Was
I'll give you a basic definition or basic decision tree for OG. They have an extremely good understanding of what a power spike is, and then they just play to that. They've been doing this since last TI. Like, everything they did last TI was to get Ana to a point where he could carry the game, and that was their entire strategy, is just get your heroes to the point where they can win the game. And most of the time last TI, that was like very late game because everybody was playing super early focus and grouping up early. This TI, things are a bit different, but the IO strategy was literally like, once we get IO to Ag's Heart and link him with a Wind Ranger or a Troll, you can't kill him. He does way too much damage. And so they just played to get him to the point where they basically couldn't kill the IO. And if you can't kill the IO, then you have problems because he's dishing out so much damage. And then you link him to a hero that has max attack speed, and it's just like, they literally just went through backdoor protection and won the game on purpose.
That's some pretty dang shit. I need to look at that replay.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
The way that OG played around Alchemist too, they've been doing their research, man. They have been studying and coming up with strats. I've never seen a team play that well around Alchemist. The way that they interrupted the smokes, the way that they positioned on the map to defend the right towers, the way that they warded, like the way that they stacked. I saw No Tail stack 3 camps at once with 3 separate creeps on Chen.
Wow, that's
like, how can you micro like that? But he's got the timings. Like, these guys have done their research, and if they win TI again, if they do well in TI, it's not just like last year where there was this crazy, possibly lucky, like spur of the moment, honeymoon period, sort of like fairy tale story. This is a team that's come in and they know what the fuck they're doing. They are a powerhouse.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm not even sure what the standings are. Let me see. TI9.
They're tied for first. Yeah, they've lost like one game, I think, so far. They're tied with
I was just like, my jaw was just dropping watching them play Alchemist. The way that I was getting so excited, just the way that they were playing around the hero. It's like, this is the best Alchemist team I've ever seen. And it's not just the whole, I don't like the whole story. It's like, oh, they just play really well around Ana. It's like, no, they executed an Alchemist strat better than any other team, period. It's not an Ana thing. It's an OG completely understanding Alchemist. Like, this seems like a whole other team, Right. OG's in first, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, they're in first in their bracket. And it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I only saw 2 games that they played, but in both of those games, I was fucking mind blown at the way that they were a unit playing around always one thing, they it's just crazy. It's crazy, man. The amount of synergy in that team, it's like they're one thing, like one entity, which is just insane. Like, I mean, I don't mean to sound like, I mean this in a very positive way, but I think individually speaking, Thompson is, he's a wild card, but he's not a Sumail. Ana is like incredibly consistent, but he's not like a paparazzi. Fucking Matt is a really good offlaner, but he's not like a mind controller. So like, all of these players individually are top tier, but possibly not S tier. But then when you put them all together as a unit, they're a fucking beast, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the only person I would disagree with is Ana. I think Ana is arguably like the best player in the world.
I feel like if he wasn't on OG,
maybe not.
It might not work. Like the way that Seb and Thompson play with the supports also like playing really defensively around Ana all the time makes
it definitely
so much sense.
Yeah, it definitely empowers him. Definitely empowers him for sure. But I don't know. I think he's really fucking good. But I agree with everybody else. I wouldn't say that anyone else, even Jerax, who is incredibly good and he's super good on like Rubik and Earth Spirit and all these heroes.
We're comparing to literally the creme de la creme of players.
Yeah.
It's like obviously they deserve to be here all individually, but we're talking best of the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, but as a team, like what they've done in the last year to get to this point is unreal. And I really hope that they do well on this TI. And if they keep playing in their current form, they will.
Yeah, I actually saw a really interesting point that somebody raised in like I think it was one of the writers for Liquid Dota was talking about how they took essentially they took like a 3 or 4 month break from Dota after TI with like the sole purpose of not being burnt out. And it's really smart actually. Like they knew that they were good enough to make it back to TI, but the fact that they didn't just like win TI and then just force themselves to continue to grind, they did literally what we advocate, which is they stopped playing Dota until they felt like they wanted to play Dota again.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
these guys are crazy. You're so happy to see them do well too, because it feels like something that any of us could do. Like there's somebody you can relate with on OG, like no matter who you are. So you have like fucking Matt, who's like the old veteran who came back from like a coaching role that, let's see, how old is he? So he's 27, right? So he's like not the archetypical like hot young like epic, you know,
right,
a 1v5 new fucking blood player. Thompson as well, how old is he? 21. You know, he Thompson is this like pub guy that just was literally a streamer, and No Tail picked him up. No Tail is the guy who's been doing it for so fucking long and just slowly grinding away at it.
Yeah.
And finds success by doing that over such a long period of time. It feels really good to see him succeed. Jerax is like another pub star as well, / streamer. I think a lot of people didn't take Jerax seriously for a long time too, because he's just the Earth Spirit guy.
Yeah.
It's like he was a fucking joke, man. He was a total joke to a lot of players. And like look at him now, man. Like that feels fucking good that guy can be successful, because sometimes we all feel like jokes, and we feel like, you know, you wanted to work hard until you get to a point where you're like you're the real deal. And then Anna, he's Australian. He comes from like the hardest region in the fucking world to play professionally in, man.
Yeah.
Come on, that's awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah, not only that, but he just like
as a team.
Yeah, true. I mean, they all just make each other better.
I love it. I just love it, you know.
All right, let's get into this replay.
Okay, so Eddie Mercury says, I guess if we're looking at pro replays, then this is Newbee versus Secret Game 1. Talk about what you think Newbee's plan was for taking high ground against Secret, and make note of any mistakes or inefficiencies that they made while trying to take high ground. In sum, tell us what we should replicate and what we should avoid in our high ground pushes. Amazing question. I love how specific you are. That is super high skill to ask very specific questions like that. And I also love that it's a Newbee replay, because my boy CCNC's on there.
Yep. So I'm going to skip to the point where they would go higher, and I'm not totally sure where that will be, but I assume it's going to be relatively soon after they take these towers. All right, so it looks like they're going to go high ground here, from what I can tell. Also, look at these dank creeps, dude.
Oh my god, I cannot play with those on. How do you last hit those things? That seems like jarring.
They look very strange. The last year's ones were a lot easier to play with because they look like basically creeps, but a little bit cooler. These ones are very confusing. For sure.
And they look like couriers.
Yeah. All right, so, I mean, as far as going high ground right now, their reasoning is that they've killed 3 heroes and they have a huge creep wave. If we look at their items, they've got a lot of
go to net worth.
Yeah, they've got a lot of evasion on Yawar. He's one of the best heroes at hitting high ground safely because he has a BKB built into the hero. They have snaking to be able to get them out pretty much for free if things start to go south. And then they have a Jakiro, who obviously provides a huge amount of pressure when going high ground as well. CCNC, not a great hero for going high ground, but he has the ability to kind of zone while everybody else hits.
I do want to make a point here that this is TI, and this is like an extremely high level game, obviously. So the like this might not be something that these players would do in pubs. Like they're possibly they're just ulting out. Okay, never mind. They would, but still, you couldn't do this without a full team. You know, you straight up couldn't do that. Without a full team, because like everybody was respawning. So the whole idea there is just to play fast. Like there's a Nog on the enemy team. It's Nog and Slark. You're not gonna win late game against that straight up.
Yep.
So they wanna try to like push like get as much damage to the tower as they can. So they do like little things like that, and it's literally just the Underlord that lets them do that. That's it, just the Underlord. Like I don't see any reason that they would do that if they didn't have Underlord, unless they had some excellent sieging hero and they literally thought they were going to lose the game if they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean that was basically just we know they're respawning soon. We can maybe force them to buy back or chip the tower. One of those two things will happen, and both are good. And then we can get out for free with the Underlord.
Yep. So oh, that's so lucky. It's respawning too.
I'm just gonna fast forward until they potentially go for high ground again.
This Nakes is huge.
Yeah. Yuar's having an incredible tournament. Pick off Yapsor.
The Hassans, man, they're just too good. That's his last name, right? Yuar Hassan?
Yeah. Okay, so this is really cool. I like this. They take the mid tower and they immediately go to the tower that they've already damaged. They don't go to this new tower where they have momentum and creeps. They really want to get one tower down because that allows them to take shrines, and shrines are like basically the most important objective to take in the mid late game, just because once the towers are down, you have to get shrines because the other team can still get out on the map if the shrines are there. I'd say that once you take the shrines, that's like the real moment where you can actually win the game by choking people out. But if the shrines are still up, it's very hard to actually choke out the map because you still have to spread yourself across the entire width of the map, which is really dangerous to do. So I really like the fact that they just get the creep waves to break the back door, and then they just go immediately for the top lane. But obviously, Willow's respawning. They're going to think twice about this.
Watch Snicking. Okay, never mind. Oh, they're backing out completely.
Yeah.
I honestly think he just made a mistake. Go back.
To where?
Just like go back like 20 seconds. So they run to the top lane, which is definitely correct. And obviously in the heat of the moment, it's a lot harder to make this judgment call. That's why I'm able to make this criticism. He should be cutting the mid wave right now. Look at the mid wave. Look where it is.
Yeah.
Why are they giving up control of this area? He should cut the mid wave, and CCNC should get the top wave.
Yes, the reason they're not doing that is because they don't have any wards. They have actually no vision, so they have no idea whether anything is coming.
That's why they should play.
I mean,
we're support at like they should definitely be holding that high ground. I'm not sure what their play is here. I think they probably want to go Roche, but I think what the play here is to cut those waves and hold the high ground for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then go Roche.
I mean, I completely agree. I think that the reason that they're not doing that is because they don't have any wards in inventory. Who? Jakiro? He has no wards. They're in.
Okay. Marana too, I think is the
no wards.
I still think you can hold a high ground without the ward. I think as long as you know that it's dewarded and that your whole team is there, like you just need to play with the heroes on the high ground. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't get that deward either. That's really unfortunate. Still, like the general consensus is to like you never like exit an area like this without killing the creeps first. But I think they're like really rushed, feeling like I think they really feel like they're getting pressured by the Naga, and it's like causing them to like just play as a unit. Like they want to play really fast.
Yeah.
And cutting the creeps like that like slows down the game a little bit. It's a way to play fast, but like if you want to play even faster, you just say, well, fuck the creep waves. We're just gonna rax you and play really fast. I don't think it's good. I think it's better to play a little bit slower and then get the creep waves in, which makes it so the enemy team can't like split push you. I also can't help but feel that it's like Newbee versus secret, so they're a little bit like shook by their opponents because it's literally secret. They're like the best team on the planet.
And they're also just worried about the fact that this Naga is like basically able to 1v5 them at this point. So
oh my God, Thorn.
they're trying to avoid any engagement against this Naga at all, because I'm pretty sure they know that they just lose if they fight them straight up.
But I really do feel like if I'm scrimming and we look at this replay afterwards and I'm the Underlord, I'm getting flamed by my team for not cutting that wave.
That's fair.
Because like Underlord is so tanky, he's not gonna die, and CCNC can just drop a remnant and go kill the wave. Like those waves can die, and it's very important. A lot of people favor it highly. Like this sort of stuff where you get like stuck in your base and then you have to like actually make a move to get out. Doesn't happen if you're constantly cutting the waves, but they've allowed Seeker to like get themselves into a position. I legit think that's a big mistake. Like they're fucked now. They're just slowly losing the map. You can't let a Naga get an advantage like this. Once again, in retrospect, it's really easy to say, and it's literally Newbee versus Secret, so I'm sure there's a lot that's going through their head right now, and maybe they thought it was like they were gonna, because you know Secret invented that fucking strat where you sit on a high ground and cut the waves. They did that first, so you know that they're gonna counterplay that, and maybe because of that you're too scared to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there could be that element where it's like there's no way they're gonna let us do this. They're baiting it. They're gonna kill us. But the thing is, like that's where Dota has these levels to it, where you need to figure out a way to do it safely. So you could send the Jakiro out with the Lotus Orb on him, or you could send the Lifestealer out and then the Ember to the other lane. You know what I mean? Like this is when you get to tier 1 Dota, where like the trends and stuff. It's like it's about who can like come up with the trend, the better thing to like beat the current trend. And I think Newbee's kind of like outplaying themselves, or at least in that particular situation, they kind of outplayed themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I did want to go to this point because they ended up taking a really good fight on their shrine. Surprise, surprise. They were able to win a fight on their own high ground. And I wanted to just kind of talk about how they are approaching going to retake map control, because this is something that I see not done in basically any pub, which is that you win a fight and then your first instinct is just to all run down one lane together. But one thing that you have to realize is if you win a fight like this where there's only 2 alive, you actually have the ability to basically like push out all of the lanes, and then you're still going to be able to group up by the time that everybody needs to be grouped up to take a fight.
Only one person needs to kill, like any hero. Most heroes in Dota can just press one spell on a creep wave and it dies.
Yeah. So
you don't need everybody.
So you've got Snake King pushing down the mid lane because he has less mobility than CCNC. And he's just going to push this wave in and then connect to the bottom, which is being pushed in by the other 3 heroes. And then you have CCNC, who obviously has Remnant ability. Remnant, I thought he had a Remnant here in the bottom lane. Maybe not. But he has, a lot of mobility on an Ember Spirit.
Is it on the rune?
No, I don't know. I swear he had a Remnant down here, but maybe.
I mean, he's still 430 movement speed hero.
Yeah, and he has the ability to like TP down to this tier 1 if he wants to join his team.
He can collapse with his team very easily.
Yeah, so they send him to push out the farthest away lane. And the reason that you want to do this is because if you were to just all run down mid lane and not address these other 2 lanes, then 2 things will happen. First of all, if they clear the one wave that you're pushing, then you suddenly have no creeps because the other 2 lanes are already pushed out, and then you can't continue to go high ground because you just don't have any creeps to break backdoor. Secondly, if you were to lose a fight or they buy back, then if you have all the waves pushed out, then the other team has to go deal with all those waves before they go high ground against you. But if you have just pushed in one wave and this wave is at your base and this wave is, pushing towards your base, these 2 waves actually put you on a timer to have to go back to your base and defend your racks and your towers. And if you do get caught out when the other team buys back or you lose a fight going high ground, then they can just immediately end the game. So it's actually super, super fucking important to deal with your creep waves when you win a fight first and then go do something else.
In North America, they call it getting your lanes good. that's what like NA pros say with this. It's like you take a fight, but you have to get your lanes good. Like you can't just keep fighting in Dota. It's like Dota is this rotation of fighting somewhere, getting your lanes good, fighting somewhere, getting your lanes good, fighting somewhere, getting your lanes good. And that's why like the creep cutting thing is so important, because it makes it so that you can continue fighting somewhere without having to go back and get your lanes to be good.
Yep.
They will just be good because the creep waves will be constantly shoved in, and that's why look, CCNC is mid. So this is the absolute correct play. He goes to the mid lane, shoves that in, so that way they can't just outpush it, and then of course you have that timer. If there's only one lane that has the timer, then that's fine. Did Newbee win this one?
No. They got 2-0'd.
Oh boy, that's unfortunate.
But they had a chance to win both of these games, like very clearly. The first one was the Brood game. Wait, no, that was Alliance. But they definitely had chances to win both of these games and lost both of them. They probably are going to end up throwing or getting outplayed here on the high ground, would be my guess. So let's go ahead and watch how that's going to happen. Timing wise, this is really good, and I love what CCNC does here because he adds essentially 0 tower damage as an Ember Spirit. He's all about killing heroes and controlling stuff. So he pushes out the creep wave to get these 2 catapults on the mid wave, because if he comes down here and hits this barracks, he's adding, you know, maybe like 1 second faster of killing it, 2 seconds faster in the long run. Whereas this actually creates pressure in 2 lanes, and then he can still be here in time to take a fight.
There are so many reasons, so many like unspoken reasons that are very subtle why pushing in that mid lane is extremely good. It removes the timer, means that somebody has to go there and like multicast Bloodlust to tower, and so they can fight bot. It means that they only have to get 1 lane good afterwards. Like it means that the enemy team can't just like go shove it out, and then like let's say they kill the bot creep wave, it's like there's still gonna be a creep wave in the base, and then it also means that like after this they can go back and kill this shrine because they saw the enemies pushing mid. Like we saw them on the minimap pushing out mid.
Right.
And the reason that we saw them there was because CCNC killed the mid wave, which sets up for the future play of taking that shrine. So it's like it's good on so many levels that creeps are ridiculously important in Dota, and it's probably the #1 thing that people in like the lower brackets don't understand. And I get why. We all come from these like super kill based games where it's like Team Fortress, maybe that's not a good example, but like Call of Duty, and you have these like PUBGs and stuff where it's like you're just running around killing people, you kill everybody, you win. So in Dota you're baited into like worrying about kills, but like the creeps dictate the entire pace of the game. The creeps are fucking everything, man.
Yeah.
And if you just think like that, even if you don't know why that's true, you'll just be thousands of MMR better if you just do whatever you can to abuse tactics to like cut through little trees with the Quelling Blade on Crystal Maiden and kill a creep wave that otherwise you wouldn't. Like any little tactic like that is going to gain you so much MMR. Creeps are so important. Can't stress it enough.
Definitely.
I love this Mirana build.
All right. So it looks like they're about to try and go high ground again. If we look at buyback status, everybody but Snake King and Jakiro have it. So that's actually not great because the whole other team has buyback. So you just inherently can't have as many heroes at a fight. But at some point you also have to take advantage of the fact that you have an 8k lead and you have gained map control against the Naga.
I think they're really worried. They're really worried about this Naga. So they're like trying to pressure while they can, but at this timing, Naga is a beast.
Yeah.
So I really think so. The way that they're sieging is very nice. Yeah. They just have UR hitting, and then on the back lines, everybody is completely split.
Yeah, I did want to cover that actually because that's one thing that I was noticing. I was watching a Roche fight earlier this morning. I forget who was doing it. I think it was EG. They're claiming Roche. But this area denial concept that everybody's obsessed with right now in the pro scene is so important. And so that's what you see here. You see that not only did they put down this Pit of Malice, so they put down a Pit of Malice around the Lifestealer, who is now magic immune and Lotus Orbed. So there's basically no way that you can initiate on the Lifestealer. And if you do initiate on the Lifestealer with a Slurk, then you immediately get rooted. So there's like many layers of protection for this Lifestealer. And then on top of that, you have MSS back here shooting triple arrows into the same area that the Lifestealer is sieging. So it's like there's like 4 different layers of protection for him to be able to hit this tower for like 6 seconds. And they're just going to keep resetting and doing this. That's their plan right now, is reset, do this, reset, do this. Like he's going to back out now, because Rage is running out. He doesn't want to get rooted, obviously. He doesn't want to get stunned and bursted. And they're going to wait for the next creep wave, and they're going to do the exact same thing.
This is another reason, by the way, why shoving the lane is so important. Because that bot lane being shoved in is because they have the rocks. But if CCNC were to like dip and go top and get the wave, it would be really good. Or even shove bot. I think bot's probably unnecessary, but going top would be ultra good. But only when the creep wave, only when he's like waiting for the creep wave, you know?
So, I mean, look at the setup again, right? They Lotus Orb, he rages, he puts a Mjolnir on him, Snaking is going to come up to Pit of Malice, and they're going to have MSS back here again. Ready to... Where's MSS? Ready to shoot another arrow. Now, right here is actually... I remember watching this, and right here is when I was like, God, Secret are so good at understanding how to win games. So, you would say that Newbee is in the driver's seat in this game, right? But we did notice that buyback status, no snaking. I remember when they picked off snaking, and then I remember when this happened, I was watching it. And instead of initiating on Yawer, instead of initiating on anybody else, mid one's like, okay, I'm going to kill this Underlord. Because if we can kill the Underlord, then everything they're doing breaks down. And we get a hero advantage for the next 100 seconds. So he says, fuck Yawer. And look at this. Puppy is running in. Nisha's running in. They're ignoring the Lifestealer. They're all literally going to kill this Underlord. And that's what they do. The Terrorize on top of it.
Oh.
They kill Snaking. Game is literally over. They just won the game by doing that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Alright, let's go on to the next one.
That's so nice. I love that. That's just like... a really good understanding of what to do to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really... I mean, they had time to think about it, but even sitting there having time to think about it, it's hard. It's hard. Mid one's really good at finding those openings. In fact, in the Brood video that I'm going to be releasing like tonight or tomorrow, the way that he takes fights on Brood, he just runs past the fight and goes on the hero that he needs to go on. And it won them like 3 team fights that they shouldn't have won. Because he just was focused. Most Broods just run in and start slamming people.
Yep.
Okay. So this is Leoge, and Leoge says, this was Hector Wraith King, probably the perfect game from a hard carry perspective. Would be nice to get your breakdown on what he did right. Hector hates me.
Why?
I picked a Pudge in like a couple of pubs with him. And I went like 1-17, so he's like, "You stop picking Pudge on my team and picking against me." That's what I get, man. All I did was pick Pudge. It was before people thought that Pudge was good, so he was like, you know.
That's funny.
He was done with Pudge.
Hector's really good though. He's
very good.
He's very good at playing like a true hard carry. Like, he is so obsessed with creeps and like hitting item timings. You will never see him show up to a fight until he feels like he has all the items he needs.
Dude, that Infamous are 1-2-1. Like, they're actually not doing too bad. That's crazy.
They legitimately could.
VP.
Yeah, they legitimately could make the upper bracket.
Who did they beat?
They 2-0'd Fnatic.
2-0'd Fnatic.
Yeah.
They 1-1 Na'Vi. Let me look. They 0-2'd OG. Well, OG's wow, they 1-1 Vici?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Let me tell you something. I was watching Whisper play in China pubs. I was just watching him carry like paparazzis and shit, you know? So I was just getting usually I get a feeling from people when they play the NA pubs when TI is in Seattle, and I can usually tell like what the teams that are going to win are based on just how
swaggy people are.
how insane people are in pubs. It's like this guy is just on another level, and I kind of got the feeling from Whisper, who's on Infamous. They're a Bolivian offlane player. When I was watching him play pubs, like, this guy's a fucking beast right now. I mean, he was good in NA, right, when he played in NA, but no, he's on another level. Like, when you're carrying paparazzi and shit, you're doing pretty good.
Yep.
For yourself. Okay, so let's see. He's laning against the Sand King. He's got a support Enchantress, kind of just pulling, chilling. I love the Enchantress flex to 5. I think it's so good that you can do that. Like if it's a hard Enchantress game, which it is. It's Mirana, Sand King lanes well against Enchantress.
Wow.
Lanes well against Enchantress.
Okay, so there's a couple little things that I just wanted to point out here. The first of which is when you're laning against something like a Sand King, or when it's very clear that the wave is coming towards you. He pulls.
Skelly summon.
Well, no, he pulls. First of all, he pulls back. He pulls back during the sandstorm. It's bugged, so you can't actually see the sandstorm. But there was a sandstorm here, and instead of like trying to stand, instead of trying to stand in the sandstorm and last hit, he knows, he doesn't have the greatest support. Like Ench, not really gonna do anything to help you kill people. At least not right now. So he's gonna just conserve as many resources as possible, knowing that the wave is coming to him, and he's like, okay, cool, I'll just get one range creep deny and back off, and then the wave will come to me. So he does that, spawns the skeletons to handle these creeps for now, and then he's gonna come over here and not try to go for a kill, but just make Ice get heavily punished for this play. So boom, now he's at an HP pool where he doesn't really feel very good.
This is an idea that people have been kind of tossing around a lot lately, by the way. And it's this concept of like, if there's an offlaner cutting, a lot of supports ask the question of like, what should I do? Nothing you can do. The carry needs to help.
Yep.
This is the answer. This is what needs to happen. If the carry doesn't help when the creeps are being cut by the offlaner free farms, period. Yep. And this is why you'll see a lot of carries just go and sometimes the support will even pull the creep wave in front of the tower and just circle it and circle it and circle it, and the carry goes and kills the offlaner because the carry is stronger. And that's kind of the only way. It's like the team secret strat.
Wow. Great pull.
Yeah. Super nice. Super good. What's Stinger's inventory like?
Dust.
Oh, that's so not. That's so rough.
Oh wow, he bro strikes up there. Oof, that crit would have killed him. Just really.
Oh no, he's taking me back to base. He's missing an entire creep wave. It's dying to the tier fucking 2.
He's missing 2 creep waves. 2 creep waves.
Oh my god.
That was
cucking.
Really good pressure by them. Really good pressure.
That is amazing. That hurts to see, man, as a fellow offlaner. Oh, that hurts. He's gonna get blamed so hard for this game.
he literally just missed 3 waves of creeps.
Yeah. Oh god.
And okay, so now Hector's like, I'm way stronger than you. I don't want you to take these creeps. He's actually playing so aggressively to try and pressure Ice off these creeps.
Played this really well too, though. Like pulling that creep wave so that the siege creep dies to the tower.
Yep, really smart.
That is so good in a 1v2. Like he should have lost the tower there, but that play, dude, I'm telling you, people are always like, "Oh, I should have hit this spell here. I should have hit this stun. I should have done this or I should have done that." Bullshit. None of that matters. All that matters is one single decision like that. I would actually say this lane has gone back to like Ice winning this lane because of what he just did. That siege creep deny is like that was supposed to be what Infamous gets out of that pressure that they were applying earlier, and now the pressure is on them, which is insane. But I know this is about Hector, but it's really cool to see these games because you just see these like insanely high level cool plays happen, and it's like, oh shit, that's a really good idea of how to respond to this thing. You know, like you always have this problem like a 1v2 offlane, like how the fuck do I keep the tower alive? That's how you just do this little trick to pull the creeps out of the tower, and you suicide and sacrifice a bunch of regen for it, and there you go. Now you're the one applying pressure. Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, so this was kind of interesting. He skills Reincarnation at level 6, which is pretty rare, actually. And he pre-skills. He doesn't, like, wait until the moment before he dies. He just goes ahead and skills it because he knows that he's coming back into a tri-lane. And he wants to get this creep wave. He wants to get the siege creep off the tower. So
yeah, it's very similar. It's like it's all about siege control. You're just...
Yep.
So I'm sure he knows he's gonna probably die here.
Look at Dubu tanking for the siege wave.
Yeah.
Tanking. Really, really good play. But then Hector pulls the creeps off.
If Hector was a real G, he'd run towards the Sand King and pull the creeps out of the tower range and have the siege die. I mean, it's totally unnecessary. But,
Or back over here, yeah?
Actually,
Actually, no, you want to run towards them because otherwise then they'll just they'll tank for the siege wave.
Yeah, it's like I'd be worried about pulling it into the next wave and still being in the tower range.
Right.
I mean, this is still really nice. This is like the sort of high-level plays that are really nice really interesting to see in TI. That's why I love TI. It's like everybody's got their A game on.
Yep. Okay, so right there, that's kind of what I was talking about before. So he doesn't have any support in lane. He doesn't know where the other heroes are because I don't think that they've revealed themselves mid yet. So he's hanging out over here trying to get some vision. He knows that he doesn't want to play in the sandstorm because if you're in the sandstorm and then the other two heroes wrap out around and stun you, you're probably going to die. So he's going to hang out just on the edge of the sandstorm, knowing that the creeps are coming to him under tower, playing, very, very safe, but it's like a very small positioning thing.
It's a lot of small nuances to Dota like this that make you a winner instead of a loser.
Yep.
It is these small things. He's responding to a lane that should be having a lot of pressure applied to it right now. Wow, he TP's there?
Yeah, that was weird. Why do you think he did that?
Hector is a madman. I think he just knows that his job is to hold the top tower, and he's just being efficient with the Midas. Like, he knows he's not going to use the TP for anywhere else, which I do think is a little insane, but I also notice a lot of people are Midasing small creeps now.
I've also noticed that. I was wondering why that is. Because it's 1.85 times the experience. I don't know why you would...
I'm not sure.
Why would you Midas small creep? But I definitely noticed that the other day. I was like, why the fuck is everybody Midasing small creeps?
Let me look. Let me Google. Neutral creeps. So let's see. Large. Okay, so Centaur camp. So the little guys give you 33 experience, and the big guys give you 95 experience. So if you Midas the big guy, you get 180 roughly experience. If you Midas one of the, so you'll get plus 80 experience. If you Midas one of the little guys, you get like plus 20 experience. So 80 versus 20, and the big guys give, let's see, between
the gold is not increased at all.
Yeah, so it's 53 to 62 gold, and the little guys give 16 to 19 gold. So how much is the gold? 180.
Oh, maybe that's why it is, because I don't think you also get the bounty of the creep. I think you.
No, you don't. No. That's why.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
why.
So that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's 80 experience versus.
It's just gold. Like, gold's more important. That's all.
I don't know, man. Maybe. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it makes. I mean, it does make sense that gold is more important. If you get like an early item, it's really good. But it is 80 experience versus like 20 extra gold or something like that.
It's not 20 extra gold.
It's 40 extra gold.
No, if you're taking a small creep and turning it into 160 versus versus taking a large creep and turning it into 160.
Yeah, the large creep you would be losing 40 gold.
Right.
The large creep is worth 62 gold. The small creep is worth 20 gold. Around. Right. So the difference is 40. By Midasing the small creep and farming the large creep.
Right.
You're getting 40 extra gold instead of 80 extra XP.
Yeah.
So it really would probably depend on... Oh, there's a fly on my fucking computer screen. You motherfucker. Are you trying to die, bitch? Motherfucker. I didn't get it.
Whoa, man.
It's going to be like that episode of Breaking Bad. It's really awful.
You're like the next puppy. Hitting your monitor.
You guys want to see my cat?
Man, Hector has 145 CS in 14 minutes.
That's crazy.
I believe in this game he ends up with 500 CS in a 34-minute game, or at like 35 minutes. But I mean, I think the biggest takeaway so far is just that he literally just does not care what's happening with his other players at all.
No, he doesn't give a fuck.
Like, he doesn't have a Radiance. He doesn't have his BKB playing as an Invoker. There's pretty much 0 scenarios where it's a good idea to join a fight. Right? I mean, like, you can't play Wraith King against an Invoker without BKB.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard. It's very hard. They also have a really good early game lineup for just fighting.
So I mean, he's checking. He's like, is there any way that I should show up here and help my team? He's gonna farm himself towards them now that he has Radiance on the way.
Yeah, I think if the fight looks like really good.
Yeah. Yep. But now that he has the Radiance, he's like, ooh, that's a juicy creep wave. I'm coming up there to get that.
Oh, so juicy.
Leaves the camps early to allow the skeletons to finish them off. Has the other side of the map. Pushing this creep wave to play around where his team is. It's got blade mail components coming out. Or did he switch it up? No, okay, blade mail. TP's to the lane that's being pressured. But now that he has the blade mail, now he actually feels like he can, you know, contribute to fights. So he walks towards it to see if they're going to take a fight. But since they're not, just go back to farming. Push out the wave.
God, carry's so boring. How do you carry players deal with this bullshit, man? He's not doing anything.
This is like Hector in a nutshell, though. He's like more one-track focused than basically any other carry player at this tournament. But we're going to see here, right? So he walks up, gets immediately stunned, bursted. He has the wand. So he's going to survive.
Oh, he's wishing he got a couple of lucky crits there.
Absolutely.
Nice job, Hector. You're hitting creeps.
All right. TP's to the triangle. Picks up the bounty. Got to deal with this big creep wave in the bottom lane. Deal with the siege creep. So, of course, he's going to be the one to deal with it. Nobody's showing, so he backs off to the triangle. All right, team wants to fight. I'm a Wraith King with BKB, and he immediately is like, let's take a fight, right? So this is the first time that he's actively TP'd into a fight that is not started yet. And the reason for that is he now has what he needs to actually carry a fight. So he tanks an arrow because he TP's in blind, but it also takes some concentration away from the rest of his team.
Oh!
One shots ice, ice, ice.
Oh boy, I'd be so mad if I was Ice. What items does Ice have? He's real squishy. Oh,
he has
God.
nothing. He's having a bad game.
Oh God.
And back to farming because he doesn't have BKB.
No blink because he doesn't feel like he needs to initiate.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. Like, if you're a hero, if the other team is a team that wants to go in on you, why buy a blink dagger? It's just 2,000 gold to do the job that the other team's already going to do for you. Like, they're going in on you, and you're a hero that wants to be gone on. You don't need to put yourself in a position because they're going to come to you anyway. So there's no reason to buy a blink dagger in this game. All he has to do is walk forward and present the opportunity to the other team to go on him.
People in chat are talking about how Seb is underrated. I agree, dude. That guy was rank 1 in Europe when he was a coach for OG. Rank 1.
Yep.
That is not a not mechanically skilled / not pub / competitive understanding player. There's a lot of coaches that are like rank 1,000.
Yeah.
And they just know the strategy, you know, or just up to date with strategy, but they don't know how to actually like go in and win a game. Like Seb has never had that problem. That guy is a god.
Yep. Okay, so the last thing...
Mechanics are easy though, man. Mechanics are really easy.
It just requires you to practice muscle memory stuff.
Yeah, I think most 7K plus offlaners are going to have the same mechanics.
Okay, so here's kind of a funny moment, because here's something I'm 1,000% sure that every single person in chat, if they were playing Wraith King right now, would have walked over to this fight. 1,000% sure. Every single person in chat would have walked to this fight. And Hector says, nope, see you later. Leshrac picked off, I'm out of here. Not even going to bother going there.
All right, to be fair, there is probably a lot of communication going on within the team where it's like, out, we're getting out, this is not a fight.
Yeah.
You know, just saying. I'm not like trying to undermine what you're saying. It's more so that I think that there's so many levels to pro Dota, especially at TI.
Yeah,
where
100%.
I wish I could hear their communication, because that's a whole other spectrum that we haven't even talked about, you know?
Right.
Because how can we? It's just, we just be hypothesizing. But it is really cool to think about, though, just thinking like that maybe it was even Hector that said this is not a good fight. I'm not fighting without. I'd like to know who it is that makes those calls on this team.
Right.
It's not fucking Schofield, I know that.
It's probably Stinger, to be honest. He's the most experienced player on the team by far.
Yeah, maybe. Do you like my cat?
Hell yeah. Kitties.
He's loving life. He's kneading my legs. It hurts.
You like the pain, Jenkins.
I do, yeah. Yeah, Ludicrous. We're doing only TI games.
Alright, so let's see what happens here. He walks out. I really like how he basically is just constantly putting himself in a position to like absorb damage and absorb, like basically split up the fight into the part of the other team which has gone on his backlines, then him, and then the rest of the other team. And it's like if the other team wants to help their two or one player or whatever who's gone on the backlines of Infamous, they have to go through the Wraith King, which is...
It makes it like a 2v5 almost.
Right.
If they have to go through Wraith King, they're like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, and all Wraith King has to do is just turn around and start hitting the person that's behind him, trying to go on his backlines. And so it just, like you said, it creates like... He's like the area denial, right, that we were talking about earlier. Yeah. Great shackle shot by Schofield there. I mean, this game's essentially over. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I think that might be it. Let me look. Not many TI submittals. People want their own replays reviewed, which is fair. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right. Well, TI has started.
Yeah, we may as well. I'll go watch TI then.
Yeah.
His name's Roscoe, by the way. Somebody was asking. Ignore mine. Yeah, it's we take replay reviews from Patreon, patreon.com/Dota Alchemy. If y'all are interested in supporting your boys, sometimes we'll do from the chat, but this week we just want to go watch TI basically. So
yeah. We'll be honest, we are pretty one-track focused on TI right now, but that also will be more TI-focused content on the channel. So a little bit of a trade-off, and we do appreciate the Patreon support. Of course, we'll make sure that you guys get your value this month 100%. So thanks as always for the support. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Get the fuck out of here. Go watch some TI. Don't waste your time watching Jenkins stroke his kitty. We'll see you next time.